Hallelujah. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much, Pastor Mark. I love you. I love it to be here with you guys. Honestly, you are our Florida family. We love you. And my whole family sends you greetings. And they wish they could be here with me right now. I have a word from Jesus. I really believe I have to share with you this morning. Just let's pray. Very first, let's pray. I thank you, Jesus, that you are here with us in this room. Jesus, it's all about you. We honor you, Jesus. We adore you, and we lift your name up. We lift your name high. Amen. Amen. You know, every one of us got some dreams. Every one of us received God-given dreams and God-given visions. But during the time, sometimes it happens that the dream will be covered with sorrows, lots of work or whatever. But Jesus wants you to hear, you shall dream again. You shall dream again. Your visions shall come alive today. Your dreams shall come alive today. You know, if you go deep inside, just imagine the dream you have, the vision you have received from God. Just imagine it. Because there is a dream in every heart. In every soul there is one dream. And if you think about it, you would say, oh my goodness, how incredible would it be if it would come to pass? And then the terrible voices come into your mind. No, this is never want to be happen. This is impossible. I am too young. I am too old. I don't know how to do it. Do you know these terrible thoughts? I am telling you today, you will never be too young to fulfill His dreams He has given you. You will never be too young. There is no excuse, because if you think, I am not able to do it, you fit perfect. Because God does never fail. If God gives you a dream, this is a dream for you. This is not my dream. It is your dream. I have a God-given dream. Maybe this is not your dream, but I have to go for it. It's my dream. It's my vision. And when I think about it, I say, oh my goodness. If this would come to pass, it would be so incredible. And then the thoughts come up. It is impossible. I will never do it. It's impossible. Do you know these thoughts? Okay, this means the devil in Germany is the same devil than in America. Hallelujah. Do you know Jesus is alive? And He wants you to stand up and to go for Him. Hallelujah. When you listen to the things which come up and say, okay, it's impossible, I cannot do it, I want to go very quick. Because I want to go very quick into Genesis. Because the question is, if you have received a vision, the question is, who has told you it is impossible? Who has told you you will never see it to come to pass? Who has told you? Are you reminded in this question when God asked this question? Let's see what happened there in the garden. It's in Genesis. When God came into the garden after Adam and Eve had eaten from the forbidden fruit. And what did God say first? This is the very first question from God in the whole Bible, where God was searching for Adam and Eve, and He cried out, "Where are you?" And you have to take care about God did not say, Adam, where are you? He said, where are you? Without a name. So this is a call for you and for me and for whole mankind. Where are you? This is the cry from God. Where are you? And He's still searching for us, that we stand up. And I want to share you very quick. Whenever something appears in the Bible for the very first time, you have to pay attention about it. It is very important. So this is the very first question in the whole Bible from God Himself. Where are you? And the second question, when Adam was behind the trees and they hid, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When they hid, they tried to hide, okay? They tried. And God asked the question, but why does God asking questions? Why does God ask questions? For sure, He does not ask a question because He does not know the answer. He wants us to think about. He wants us to think about it. Oh my goodness, He wants Adam to think about, okay, where I am. What did I do? Do you know what I mean? For this reason, God is asking questions. And the second question from God in the whole Bible, the second question is what? Who told you? Who told you you will never see a miracle? Who told you you will never see your vision be fulfilled? Who told you? Who told you? If Jesus said, you will go for it and I will go with you, who told you it will never come to pass? It's a lie. But we must not believe in lies. Are you with me? Hallelujah. Who told you? Who told you? Jesus wants you to dream again. And He wants you to stir up inside and to stand up inside and to take your vision, to take your God-given dream. Whatever it is your dream. You have to fulfill the vision God has given you. I cannot fulfill your vision. You cannot fulfill my vision. Who told you? It is impossible. Who told you? He's a liar. Because he is afraid of you, because he knows exactly. Once you stand up and go with Jesus, he cannot stop you. So he tries to stop you at the beginning. But we will not believe in lies. We will go with Jesus. Who told you? So when you receive a vision, you have to grab it. You have to take it. You have to fight for it. Maybe you have to pay a price for it. Oh yes, for sure you have to pay a price for it. But you have to take it. And I want to tell you, even if the vision is impossible, even if the vision is impossible, I want to go to Mark with you and read what Jesus said to his disciples. It is in Mark 16. So it is in Mark 16, verse 15. You know it all. You know it. Anyway, I want to read. Jesus said, here it says, and he said to them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Think about it. They were 11 disciples. 11 disciples. And Jesus told them, you have to go in all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. Honestly, this is impossible. It's impossible. If Jesus had said, okay, you have to go to Jerusalem or maybe to Israel, maybe they could made it, I don't know. But to go all the world, it's impossible in our mind. But what did they do? We read in verse 20. I love it so much. And they went out and preached the gospel everywhere, while the Lord worked with them and confirmed the word by signs that followed. They did not say, okay, Jesus, we got a vision, we will lay it down, we will cover it, we will go for our business or whatever. They went out and preached the gospel, and Jesus confirmed it. Jesus was with them. This is our job. We have to go for it. I just want to explain you. Just imagine tomorrow you will go back to work. You go into your office. Just imagine you're working in the office. I don't know what your job is. Just imagine you go into your office and your boss comes and say, okay, here is your paperwork, please do it. I want you to finish it until this week. So you take the paperwork, go back to your office, and you watch it and see, oh my goodness, this is lots of work. It's impossible. No, I cannot do it. And just imagine you grab it, go back to your boss, go into his office and say, okay, boss, no, it's impossible. Here you have it back. Just imagine this. And you will sneak out of his office, go back very quick. Just imagine what's going through the mind of your boss. He will think, oh my goodness, something is going totally crazy now. Okay, let's just imagine your boss is very patient with you, and he stand up again and say, okay, he's real today, but I will give him another chance. Okay, so he takes all the paperwork, bring it to your desk, say, here, please, this is your job. Please do your job. And then he goes out in his office, and you look again to the paperwork saying, oh my goodness, no, this is impossible. And again, this time you think you are smart, okay? You take all the paperwork, going very slow to the office. This time you even knock at the door, waiting until your boss calls you in, come in. And again, and this time you say, oh boss, I'm so sorry, the last time I failed. This time I know what I have to do. I will lay down at your feet. I'm so sorry. The last time I just put it on your desk. This time I will lay it at your feet. I cannot fulfill it. Just imagine what would happen. I guess this time your boss will kick you out. Don't know. You know what I mean? But this is sometimes what we are doing with Jesus. If Jesus gives us a vision, he says, hey, go and preach the gospel, or whatever vision you have. Very often we just lay it at the feet of Jesus. Saying, okay, Jesus, it's impossible. I prayed so much, but I cannot fulfill it. It's crazy, but very often we did it with Jesus. Very often we ask Jesus to fulfill miracles. But I ask you, why do you need miracles if you're not going in his will? If Jesus will give us a vision, this vision will include miracles. But if we not go in his vision, how can he confirm everything we do if we do our own stuff? You know what I mean? So this time Jesus tells you, you shall dream again. Take your dream. And it shall come to life again. We have to go for whatever Jesus wants us to do. We sing all the time, we sing these songs, Jesus, call me, Jesus, here I am. Do I really do what he says? Do I really do or not? Do we have some excuses? Oh, I'm too busy, I have no time. Who told you? You know, the question is, who told you? So if we grab the vision, if we grab the calling God gave us, whatever it is your call. Go for it. It's so important. The other thing we have to take care about, maybe you grab the vision, you go for it, and you say, okay, Jesus, bye-bye. See you in 1 month. I will go for it, and I will do it. This would be terrible. This would be terrible. It will not work out at all. But maybe we will try. Honestly, one day I have decided I will never ever do something for Jesus. All the time with Jesus and through Jesus and in Jesus. Because if I do something for Jesus, I will come back one day saying, Jesus, did I not do well? Did I not do well? Did I not perform wonderful signs and wonders and miracles in your name? This would be terrible because we read in Matthew, let's read it very quick. We read in Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7 in the verse 22 and 23. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name cast out demons, and in your name perform many miracles. Just one thing, I will never ever say anything against prophecy, casting out demons, and perform miracles, never ever. This is wonderful. But anyway, listen what Jesus says in verse 23. And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Honestly, I believe this will be the most terrible words a man can ever hear. If we think we did well and Jesus says, I have never known you, you run away from me. And my friends, they performed the miracles. Because if they had not performed the miracles, Jesus had said it in this statement. Because all the time when people came to Jesus and said something wrong, Jesus corrected it. He said, no, this is wrong. This is the truth. You know, when a man came to Jesus and said, good teacher, what do I have to do? He said, nobody is good except God. You know, he corrected it. So if they had not performed miracles, Jesus had said, no, you are wrong, you did not perform miracles. But he does not say it. So they performed the miracles, but separated from God. How is it possible? It's so simple. Jesus says, these signs and wonders and miracles will follow those who are saved. No. He says, will follow those who are believe. He does not say those who are saved. So you are able to perform miracles just if you believe, and even if you are not saved. This is what he says here. So we have to take care about our relationship with Jesus. This is the most important thing we have to do, to have our time with Jesus, to be very, very close with Jesus all the time. All the time. And then we will never ever have the idea to come back to Jesus to say, did I not perform well? This will not be in our mind, because we will have the mind of Jesus. Are you with me? Hallelujah! Listen. When you grab your vision, when you go for it, when Jesus sent you out for whatever He has called you to do, you need two things. They are very important. You need faith and you need hope. Because without faith, it is impossible to please God. It is very important. And one time Jesus says, according to your faith, so let it be. So our faith decides what will happen or not. So let's go to scripture in Mark. I have to take a look. Mark chapter 4. Mark chapter 4. From the verse 35 and until verse 40. Mark chapter 4, verse 35. On that day, when evening came, he said to them, let us go over to the other side. Leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat, just as he was. By the way, this is a very, very interesting saying, just as he was. And other boats were with him. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. This, my friends, is a terrible situation. Were they on the wrong road? No. They followed Jesus. They just did what Jesus wanted them to do. Anyway, there was wind, there was a storm against them, and you will face trials and storm if you go for Jesus. The more wind you have against you, the more you are on the right way, because the enemy tries to stop you, but he will never ever be able to stop us, because Jesus crushed him under his feet. You know, Jesus is the head of his body. And if Jesus crushed the enemy under his feet, even the smallest one in church, in his body, is able to crush the enemy, because Jesus crushed him completely under his feet. And then it says in verse 38, Jesus himself was in the stern asleep on the cushion. And they woke him up and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? And he got up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Hush, be still. And the wind died down and it became perfectly calm. And he said to them, Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? What did they do wrong? Why did Jesus ask this question? They followed Jesus. They were with Jesus in the boat. They did everything Jesus told them to do. Anyway, Jesus asked him, Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? The answer is very simple. Because maybe 1 hour ago, maybe half an hour ago, Jesus told them, let us go to the other side. And when Jesus is with you and says, we will go to the other side, you will go for sure to the other side. So they asked Jesus, do you not know we are dying? Do you not take care about we are perishing? But what Jesus says is, you cannot perish. You cannot die, because I told you we will go on the other side. And if you're going with Jesus, you are not able to die until his word is fulfilled. It's not possible. For this reason, Jesus says, why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? Because what Jesus is saying, I told you we will go to the other side. If you have a vision from Jesus and he tells you, you will go to the other side, you will go for sure to the other side. We need faith in his word. So the question is, who told you? To whom do you hear? To which voice are you listening? It is so important that we listen to Jesus, that we have time with Jesus very close, very often, that he is able to talk to us. I will go with you to the other side. And when we go with Jesus in our vision, in whatever he has given us, there will be mountains or valleys you have to pass. And then we need Jesus saying, Jesus, help me. Either you help me climb the mountain or you just remove the mountain. Even you help me go through the valley or you just build a bridge. But you have to help me. And we will need miracles and signs and wonders as we go for him. Hallelujah. And this is so incredible to see when Jesus performs miracles to make your way. But he will confirm his word, not my word. This is what we read in Mark 16. They preached the gospel and Jesus confirmed the gospel, his word, not my word. This is the secret. Jesus. So we need faith when we step out in boldness. And sometimes faith will be squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And sometimes there is just hope. As David said just a couple of days ago, he said, sometimes hope is like an anchor in the future. Because we know God said to us, God promised us, we will arrive there. And even if faith will be squeezed and squeezed, but there is hope deep in our heart, and we know, okay, Jesus, you told me, you promised, and I will keep it. Let's go to Genesis 22. To our dear friend Abraham. Abraham was just incredible. He was just incredible. I wish to have his faith. You know, God promised him a son. God promised Abraham to have a son. God promised him that his children and grandchildren and whatever will be more or will be as the stars in heaven, not to count. And then he had his son, Isaac. And everything he had, every promise, everything he had was in Isaac. Because in Isaac your seed shall be named. That's what God said. And suddenly, we read in Genesis 22, in verse 1, suddenly God appeared again. We read in Genesis 22, chapter 1. Now it came about after these things that God tested Abraham. God will test your faith. He will do it. He tested Abraham and said to him, very short to make it clear, God will never ever tempt you. Okay? Temptation is from the devil. But God will test you if you believe him or not. And God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham! And he said, here I am. He said, take now your son, your only one, the one whom you love, Isaac. To make it very clear, it's about Isaac now, about all the promises you have received. And go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I will tell you. This is terrible. Imagine, he has received all the promises in Isaac. In Isaac, your seed shall be named. In Isaac. And now God says, give him to me. Kill him. Oh my goodness. And it says in verse 3, it says, early in the morning, Abraham rose up and he went. And he went for it. But imagine what happened in this night. What was going through his mind in this very night when he was watching the stars, because I believe he could not fall asleep at all this night. And when he was watching the stars and reminding and thinking, oh my goodness, God, but you promised me. You promised me I will have children and grandchildren and so much more than the stars in heaven. And now you want me to kill him, to destroy your promise. It's just terrible. And I think in these situations we need faith and we need hope, that we know, but God, you have promised. I will see the promised land. I will go over the sea. I will see your promise fulfilled. And this is what Abraham did. He decided to believe in God. He decided to trust him. We read it in Hebrews 11. He trusted God, that God is even able to do what? To raise from the dead. This was his hope in the future, his anchor in the future. He knew God will be even able to raise from the dead. So I will receive him back. This was his hope and his faith. And Abraham did well. He did not fail. He did it wonderful. And we read it, I will soon read it, when the angel of God spoke twice to him. This is incredible. The first time the angel spoke to him and said, stop it, don't kill your son, don't kill him. Now I know for sure you will obey my word. And Abraham offered the goat or the lamb, I don't know. And then the angel of God spoke the second time. And this is incredible. And this is also for us. If we trust in God, if we obey his word, if we really take his word and say, okay, God, you promised me. We will go to the other side. We will arrive there. Listen to the blessing what God has poured out over Abraham. This is incredible. It says in Genesis 22 in verse 15, it says, then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, by myself I have sworn. What does it mean? Imagine this. God says, by myself I have sworn, because there is no bigger one. There is no bigger one God can to swear. So God said, I have sworn by myself. Oh my goodness. Declares the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son. Which means all the promises, all in what you have trusted, you have given it all to me. And now God says, I will pour out my blessing in abundance upon you. This is incredible. So in verse 17 it says, indeed, I will greatly bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the stars of the heavens. He repeats the promise he gave before. And as the sand which is on the seashore, oh my goodness, and your seed shall possess the gate of their enemies. Imagine this. Just because he obeyed the word of God. Just because he did what God called him to do. God gave him a vision. Okay, this was a terrible vision. A terrible job. But he obeyed. And God opened the heavens. He poured out all the blessings upon him. And even today, we are blessed because Abraham obeyed. We are blessed today because he obeyed. If we obey today, how just imagine how your children and grandchildren will be blessed. So this is not all the time about us. First of all, it's about Jesus. And God is so grateful, he will also bless our children and grandchildren. And all the kids. All our seeds. It's incredible just because we obey. So the question is, who told you it is not possible? Who told you you will not arrive there? Who told you you will die on the way with Jesus? Who told you? Do you listen to Jesus or do you listen to the enemy? Who told you? So, my friends, you shall dream again. You shall dream again. You know, we have to take our dream. We have to grab it. We have to grab our vision. We have to go for it. It is not allowed to put it down at the feet of Jesus. We have to lay down ourselves at the feet of Jesus. Yes. We have to lay down our sorrows at the feet of Jesus. Yes. But we are not allowed to lay down our vision at the feet of Jesus. Because Jesus is sitting on the right hand of God. And he said, you are my body on earth. You are my hand. You are my feet. You are my ear, my eyes. You have to go for it. Because Jesus did his job perfectly. And now it's about to us to go for it. Hallelujah. And you will be blessed. You will be so blessed, you will be astonished, you will see and say, Jesus, is this real? Do you really use me to do this and this and this? Is this real? And he says, yes, I called you. And when Jesus calls you, maybe you think, I am the wrong one. But I promise you, God will never ever fail. If he chooses you to fulfill his will and you think, oh, I am the wrong one, I promise you are the perfect one. Because if you would think, oh yeah, I will do it, I will go for it, I will go for it and will do it in my own strength, maybe you would be the wrong one. But God does never ever fail. He has chosen you and you and you, each one of you, and you have a calling from God himself. But it is your decision to go for it or not. It's your decision. But I have to say it, I have to tell you, I really believe if God has given us a vision, he will wait for us. He will wait. But I guess he will not wait all the time. Because we are not able to stop the plans of God. So if he needs people to fulfill his plan and he calls you and you will not respond, he will give this vision to another person. I'm just reminded what Reinhard Bonnke once said. He said there was he tried to meet a guy who was a missionary or evangelist. I'm not totally sure, in Africa. And then he tried to meet him, and then they told him, this guy quit, he left. And then Reinhard realized he was called. So if God has a call for you, this is a holy thing. It's not a game. Our whole life is not a game. We have to take it serious, because one day we will stand before Jesus. And once Jesus said that we should be able to stand in front of the Son of Man. Honestly, I was not able to stand in front of man. In front of Jesus, because when Jesus encountered me, I was done. I fell down to the ground. I was completely done. I was not able, but we should be able to stand in front of the Son of Man. But when we look back, just imagine this. Even if you are young, I love it. I believe in the next generation. Just stand up and go for it. Because once you are looking back in your life and you see, have I just played with sand at the beach? Or did Jesus build up something which really stands? We heard about footprints of Jesus. This was in the men's breakfast. Footprints of Jesus. That we make footprints which will be seen, not because of us, but because of Jesus. Are you with me? So what you do matters. What you decide matters. It is so important. To whom do you listen? Who told you? Don't forget it. Who told you? Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Can we have the worship band? The amazing worship band, by the way. Can we have the amazing worship band maybe on stage? Brian is here. Okay, yeah. So now I would love to have a worship time with you, and I really wish you to sing this song from the bottom of your heart. It's not about emotions. It's not about emotions at all. You can have emotions, no problem, but it's about faith and hope that you stand up and say, okay, Jesus, here I am. I want to dream again. I will stand up again and I will go for it. Whatever you have told me to do, I will do, because you are the way maker. You are the miracle worker, and you will be with me. And Jesus said, follow me. It means Jesus will go before, and we will go after Jesus. Don't try to pass him, as I often try to do, to pass Jesus and to go in front of him. It's not a good idea. Okay? Jesus goes before us. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So if you want, feel free to stand up and to pray to Jesus. You are a way maker. You are the miracle worker. I will go with you, through you, and in you.